continuing story of Peyton Place. Starring Lola Albright as Constance Mackenzie, Ed Nelson as Michael Rossi, Mia Farrow as Allison Mackenzie, Ryan O'Neill as Rodney Harrington, Barbara Parkins as Betty Anderson, Tim O'Connor as Elliot Carson, Christopher Connolly as Norman Harrington.
Even though his fate is being weighed in a courtroom, tonight Rodney Harrington finds he must come to Doctor's Hospital to see Allison Mackenzie. On the day of his arraignment, Allison had told Rodney that she loved him. But now, she no longer seems to remember her feelings for him. Yet he cannot forget his feelings for her.
Hello, Miss Choate.
Hello, Rodney.
It isn't too late to see Allison, is it?
I don't suppose so. Did Dr. Rossi tell you?
Yes, he warned me not to come too often, not to push her.
He warned all of us, too.
She seems so indifferent.
According to Dr. Rossi, that's a screen against what's really troubling her. I think he's right. If we don't allow her this indifference, she becomes petulant, angry. Believe me, I know.
Almost childlike.
Let's put it this way. Childhood was a time of greater security for her.
It was for all of us. Well, I'd better...
Rodney, don't stay too long. I'm sorry I had to excuse myself from jury duty. At first, I had really no idea that I had a preconception about the case. But I've known you too long. Even if it was just when you had your tonsils out or your collarbone set, you wouldn't kill anyone. I'm sure of that.
I wish you were on the jury.
Hear the wind blow down in the valley so low.
Don't stop.
Hello, Rodney. How'd it go today?
Okay.
I asked Mr. Gehring to play me something. He's wonderful on the guitar.
Is that part of the therapy?
No, that's just fun.
Nice way to make a living.
Hardly. 8 in the morning to 6 at night. Then there's always a patient or two like Miss Mackenzie. I've missed dinner and I've missed a guitar lesson that I've already paid for. That makes it a 12-hour day, all because one very spoiled girl wanted to be entertained.
I'm sorry I made you stay.
No, you're not.
Maybe I better go.
No, I'm going.
Mr. Gehring,
I don't want to interrupt anything.
I am sorry.
She's bored. She's lonely. She wants to be entertained. Well, good luck.
How do you feel? You gonna let Mr. Gehring get to you? Okay, let's start all over again. How do you feel?
I feel fine. And restless. How's Norman?
Fine. And restless.
Why do you keep coming to see me, Rodney?
Does it bother you?
No, of course not. I just thought with school starting and classes and all the parties and everything.
Well, I always have time to come and see you.
I dreamed about you the other night.
You did? Would you like to tell me about it?
It was a horrible dream, a nightmare. I dreamed you were running along the sand, the desert. Except it wasn't a desert, it was the end of the world. I was trying to stop you. Oh, this is silly.
No, please go on. I'd like to hear it.
I did stop you just for a second. But then you ran on. You ran on, and then you fell over the edge. I watched you falling further and further until I couldn't see you anymore. Isn't that a strange dream to have?
When you stopped me, did I say anything to you?
No, I don't think so.
Was I angry at you for stopping me?
I don't remember.
Please try and remember.
Rodney, really, you're beginning to sound like Dr. Rossi.
Allison, listen to me. If you could remember that split second, that moment we were together.
Why is it so important? It was only a dream.
I'm upsetting you.
No, you're not.
Well, I better be going anyway.
All I remember is wondering why Rodney Harrington had no face. You had no face at all. It was just you, but without any face. Rodney, why do you suppose I dreamt about you?
I don't know.
Say hello to Norman for me.
Oh. Good evening, Mr. Fowler. May I help you?
Yes, I'd like to see Mr. Gehring, the physiotherapist.
I'm afraid he's gone for the day.
Are you sure?
Yes, I saw him leave a few minutes ago. Shall I give him a message in the morning?
No, don't bother. I'll call him. Thank you.
Oh, by the way, how's Mrs. Fowler? We certainly miss her around here. Is she coming back soon?
Yes, I expect so.
Well, I have my rounds to make.
Mr. Fowler? May I speak to you for a minute? Have they heard anything about Allison?
No, I don't think so. As you know, my office is...
Yes, the police department investigates and your department prosecutes. It's been a long time.
Well, these things take time.
Well, it's just hard to remember that when you're with her.
Rodney, I appreciate how painful this is for all of you who care about Allison. But there's nothing I can do until someone's been booked.
You were in on my case long before I was booked. If I remember correctly, it was about 10 minutes after I was in there for questioning.
You're very clever, aren't you, Rodney? You're an expert at changing the subject. You're the one who's on trial. And the charge is murder. That's the subject, isn't it? Hello, Miss Chernock. This is John Fowler.
Oh, hello, Mr. Fowler.
I was just doing my homework, you know, going over my notes and so on.
Yes, Mr. Fowler, frankly, I'm in the middle of getting ready.
Yes, well, I just wanted to tell you that I don't know when I'll be able to call you to the stand. It may be some time.
I understand.
Oh, stay away from the radio, television, the newspapers. No use getting yourself on edge.
Mr. Fowler,
Yes?
why are you calling me?
Oh, you're way ahead of me, aren't you? I'm over at the hospital on something else. I was wondering, how are things going here?
What things?
Well, it must be difficult for you working with Dr. Rossi, running into who knows who in the parking lot.
No, it's not difficult. Dr. Rossi is, well, he's a professional. He may be a friend of Rodney Harrington's, but he's a professional man. And I'm not running into anybody in the parking lot. Look, Mr. Fowler, we have a deal. If anything happens, anything at all, I'll tell you.
Well, you don't have to submit to anything, you know. Not the slightest harassment.
Your witness is perfectly protected. I'm living in a vacuum. Nothing touches me at all. Mr. Fowler, look, I really do. I have to go.
Sure. Goodbye, Miss Chernak.
Bye.
If it's worth dating, it's worth waiting. Enter at your own risk.
Stella?
Mike,
Yes.
did you find my note?
Uh-huh.
While you're waiting, why don't you fix yourself a drink? One for me, too.
All right. What do you have?
Whatever you're having. How about the fancy ice bucket?
I'm impressed.
Never admit it. Now that you've finally crashed into Peyton Place society, just act like you belong.
Roger?
Who's he?
He's the butler.
Oh, that's funny. I thought I gave him the night off.
Mike? No comment?
Well, I'll think of something in a few hours.
Now, that's the kind of greeting I like. I'm sorry I'm late. Get your coat.
Stephen, I've got to show you something.
What is it?
I got this today, a subpoena.
Looks like Fowler thinks you can help his case.
Stephen, what am I going to do?
Tell the truth.
But you know how it'll sound. I'll have to explain that.
Don't. Keep it brief, or you'll make it worse.
Why?
All Fowler has to do is remind the jury of who the explanation is coming from. Betty, this is a small town. They all know your story.
They all know that I'm Rod's ex-wife. That doesn't mean I have to be on his side.
No, it doesn't. And ordinarily, they wouldn't expect you to be. But there's been enough gossip about why you got married and who wanted the annulment. You know, most girls in your position wouldn't mind seeing their ex get what's coming to them.
This is not coming to him.
Okay. I said you were different. And that's just what Fowler will say to the jury. Shall we go?
Stephen, I am worried about this.
I know you are. And I'll do everything I'm capable of doing. Everything I can to help you tomorrow. But I can't perform miracles, Betty.
Thank you.
Watch the moving floor.
Oh, would you to try some of this. This is superb. Huh?
It's interesting. What is it?
Anguilli marinara.
Come again?
It's eel. Well, in a sauce. That was always a big Christmas treat at the house. Mama's anguilli and Aunt Flora's calamara alla romano.
I'm not even going to ask for a translation.
It's squid.
In a sauce.
Oh, very tasty.
I'm sure.
Some more wine?
Did you come from a large family, Mike?
Well, we always had a good crowd at the table. More elbows than there was elbow room, I'm afraid.
Is that why you left? Too many elbows?
Home?
New York.
Well, I always wanted to practice in a small town.
I wouldn't have bet that anybody in New York ever heard of Peyton Place. I would have been wrong. Let me see. You come from a large family. There's a mama, an Aunt Flora. There's cracked linoleum on the kitchen floor.
How did you know about that?
You told me about it the first time that you came to the house.
Ah.
But outside of that, I don't know a thing about you. Except what I suspect.
What do you suspect, Sherlock?
I suspect that you're a lot like me. A loner. Only I wear mine on my sleeve and you hide yours behind your smile.
Drink your wine.
If you're counting on the wine to shut me up, forget it. It turns me on even more.
Oh, well, I'll take that chance.
I like a man with a spirit of adventure. I like you. Do you like me?
I do. Well, what should we drink to?
To us.
Salute.
Come on, maybe a plate of lasagna will cheer you up.
Stephen. Wait a minute. Thank you for dinner.
Prego, prego.
And for what you said.
For what I said.
About liking me?
What is it with you?
Come on. Let's go home to Maison Chernak.
Is that what you want?
No. What I would really like is for you to say, how about coffee at my place, Stella?
All right, how about some coffee at my place, Stella?
I want to put words in your mouth.
Stella,
Mike.
how about coffee at my place now? Come. Come.
Oh, forget it.
I can't. He was my friend. He was Rodney's friend, too.
Welcome aboard. Shall I fix you some coffee? would you like a little cognac?
Can I change my mind?
You may.
Then I'll take the cognac.
All right.
I like your view.
Well, you can see the ocean from your house, can't you?
That's different. It all depends on your point of view, like anything. Thank you. There isn't too much of you in here.
Well, it was pretty much furnished when I came here.
That's not what I mean. Do you ever have company?
Sometimes.
I ask a lot of questions.
Yes, you do. Your coat? You want to sit by the fire?
What fire?
I'll make one.
Just watching.
This is the first fire of the season.
Oh. You make it look easy. Sure you know what you're doing? Well, you city boys are used to steam heat, aren't you?
If any at all. Now, you want to get that damper? Here, let me help you with that.
What stopped you?
Another time, another place, maybe.
You know why people close their eyes when they kiss? It's to shut out the world.
You can't always do that.
Nice fire. Too bad I didn't bring along any marshmallows.
Well, we tried. We tried to be Michael Rossi and Stella Chernak. We almost made it. Only thing is that I can't forget the trial and the fact that the accused is my friend. And you're the key witness against him. I can't forget that. No, we can't shut that out of our minds.
Preview from the continuing story of Peyton Place.
Like once before I told you that I was going to resign because you didn't trust me. This time, it's because I don't want anything to spoil what's good between us.
Please don't go now.
But I promised Elliot I'd have lunch with him today.
Such a smug Dr. Righteous you are. But when you decide to take sides, Doctor, you really go.